One. What's going on, everybody? It is halftime. Miami is up 14-6. So much to talk about. Brad, where do we even begin in this first half? It's been quite sloppy, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Starting off, I mean, we got the news that obviously Pickett wouldn't be starting today.
Right.
So as soon as I heard that, I assumed that this defensive scheme was going to turn it up a notch. I was a little disappointed early on. I thought we should have been blitzing this quarterback like nonstop. He
Yep.
he he definitely looks like a quarterback where as soon as the pressure or the pocket collapse, he kind of folds, and he doesn't really think fast. He doesn't have time to go through his progressions. He kind of has the one read and that's it. So I think we need to scheme up a lot more blitzing. You saw that we started to do that a little bit and it paid off. I was very happy with a few things. It seems like half the things that all the fans were talking about on Twitter, like what they wanted to see as far as changes on both sides of the ball. You kind of saw a lot of that, right? You saw a lot of the young receivers in the
Yes.
football game. You had my boy Keyshawn Smith, had the nice first down. I would like to see a little bit more of Michael Redding, but the other wide receivers, man, you could just tell that these corners aren't playing with these like our actual starting
Absolutely.
wide receivers. I mean, our red zone play calling in particular, or I will say our play calling has been a little vanilla. I'm a little disappointed as far as the play calling, but I
Very.
mean the red zone in particular, man. I mean, there was a spot in the game where like they had a corner that was probably the size of Trajan Bandy at the top of the screen, and we didn't put Will Mallory all the way on the outside where you could easily just threw a fade route to him. Could have been an easy six, but instead we keep running these halfback draws, halfback delays, read options, and I mean I like how we're establishing the run like I thought we would, but
Yes.
uh, I don't like the basic play calling. If we were playing any team with a decent quarterback, I think this game could easily be a little out of reach for us as far as we would be down. I think we're getting really lucky as far as playing a team like Pittsburgh with obviously not a very good offense. A lot of these fans that were worried about Pittsburgh this week, I think we can all say that Pittsburgh is not the problem this week. It's us. We're still having bad penalties from time to time. Pittsburgh is kicking themselves in the foot every time they execute. They have either a false start or just a bad pass in general. And we're starting to have bad penalties as well on our side of the ball. We gotta be a lot more disciplined, in my opinion.
Want to add I'll start off with the offense play calling. I haven't been very satisfied. I feel like we run the same play consecutively, first off. Secondly, we keep throwing deep downfield passes. The commentator made a quote, De'Ara King is looking to pass to the sidelines. We are not focusing on crossing routes and drag routes. We have been 7 out of 30 with 20-plus yard deep passes. That is not our game. We're not going to be successful that way. I would like to see much more shorter passes like we saw with our screen passes, like we saw with Michael Redding. It was Keyshawn Smith, my apologies, in that last drive down the middle of the field. That is our game. And like you said, it is nice to see the young receivers in. I think the veterans, D. Wiggins, I don't know. He just doesn't want it. I don't know what it is. He plays very nonchalant. The stupid penalties defensively, that personal foul call that Bradley Jennings made, the play was over. He threw the ball out of bounds on purpose. There was no reason to commit that penalty. And then Jalen Phillips' call as well. I felt like it was a little bit soft, but we could have had a bubble bold and potentially INT. It kept the drive going. It was great to see Corey Flagg and Sam Brooks get a lot of playing time so far.
And they picked it up, man. I mean, those two in particular. I mean, that last drive we just saw before halftime. I mean, they could have easily been back in this. I mean, they're still kind of in the ball game, but I mean, this could have easily been a different for halftime. And our run defense has been pretty good plugging in the holes. I mean, Corey Flagg and Sam Brooks in particular. I mean, their football IQ is far above some of these seniors, and you could see it on the field. I think the key. I mean, our defense is doing okay for the most part. Like I said, if we were playing a decent quarterback that could kind of pick this defense apart, we would be in trouble. Like if we were playing this game against North Carolina, we would be down like 14 to 21 points right now. So
Absolutely.
I need to see Rick Ashley pick it up in the second half and like we need to start blowing these guys out like we're supposed to, because
Yes.
we can see on the football field that Pittsburgh is nowhere near the talent caliber that we have.
Absolutely. And Brad, what do you think is going on with De'Aaron King? Because he just doesn't seem the same King we saw the first 3 games, and then Clemson came, he played awful. Now Pitt, he's made some poor choice passing the football. Will Mallory was wide open. I think we took a shot to D. Wiggins. He was open in the middle of the field. What do you think's going on with King? I personally think it's hard for him to see over a big defensive line. We need to roll him out.
He seems a little rattled at times. They've had 3 or 4 tip passes already. One ended up being an interception, so that's definitely a little bit of a problem. But me personally, man, it just seems like anytime we are throwing the deep balls, we're always using the wrong personnel. Like, we're still doing it. Like, why are we throwing a deep ball to D. Wiggins when we could have Michael Redding or Keyshawn Smith out there? Why not use Will Mallory more up in the middle of the field?
Yes.
So these are all. I'm honestly gonna expect Rhett Lashley to go back to the run in the third quarter.
Yes.
Our first drive is probably gonna be run heavy, which it shouldn't. If I'm Rhett Lashley, I'm doing a play action bomb right down the field to either Mallory or throw one of the freshmen in. I loved. I know me and you are in a group chat with a couple other guys, and I loved how, like, right before our second to last drive started, I was like, all right, I need to see all the true freshmen in on this drive. And all the true freshmen wide receivers were in. We had Xavier Restrepo, Keyshawn Smith, and Redding all in at once. I want to go back to that. And speaking of Xavier Restrepo, man, I know the punt return it's been quiet, but
right.
There's a couple of those fair catches where I know damn well Mark Pope would have muffed one. Seriously. That first one in the sun, and it was a catch interference, and he caught it like it was nothing.
Absolutely. No. I'm looking forward. I cannot wait till Xavier Restrepo is able to return a punt. I'm looking forward to it. A clean punt where he has time, to catch the punt and just take off. He has his proper blocking in front of him. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And you're right, Brad. We need to develop the run game. Don Chaney only has 3 carries. I felt like he moved the ball very well with 20 rushing yards. He was averaging 6.7 yards per rush. Cam Harris as well could have easily had 2 TDs. So we need to start developing the run game more.
Yes.
That's really what's going to be moving our offense this whole entire first half.
And going back to the personnel, there was a play where I think we did like a swing pass reverse, or a sweep reverse with Cam Harris and Knighton. That's where you got to know your personnel. And, like, instead of it being Knighton, it needed to be Pope or Harley, like someone a little bit more faster that could get around the edge, even Xavier Restrepo. But I want to see more of the Rhett Lashley play calls like we saw with the Cam Harris passing touchdown.
Yes.
Where it's just a wide open, I need something like that. This is a Pittsburgh defense where we should be able to utilize the pressure that they're bringing on the D-line and kind of use it to their disadvantage. Maybe a few more screen passes. I know we tried to do that earlier in the game, just couldn't execute on the quick swing passes. But we got to pick it up. We should easily be up 21 points.
No doubt about it. Literally, Pittsburgh is playing with 2 different quarterbacks. I think they're making their first college career start. These guys are awful. They have no rhythm at all offensively. The game, surprisingly, could be 14-4, and that's because Miami's shooting themselves in the foot. It should really be 28-0. We should be just destroying Pittsburgh. So I'm expecting halftime adjustments. That is the key. Can we make those adjustments offensively in the second half? And we'll find out. Brad, what are your keys to the second half for this game?
Keys to the second half is going to be I want to get the deep ball executed. We have yet to do that unless there's a pass interference. So I want to see a couple of deep balls landed on the offense, and then as far as the defense, just keep putting pressure on the quarterback. I want a lot of blitzes. Blake Baker's hasn't really brought too much blitzes. I want to see more blitzes and keep continuing to play the freshmen. I need more Corey Flagg. I need more Sam Brooks. I need more Redding. I need more Smith. Throw Xavier Restrepo in there as well. But we got to pick it up.
By the way, speaking of freshmen, how about redshirt freshman Jared Harrison Hunt? Another sack in today's game. That makes it 3 overall. The kid's a redshirt freshman. He's going to be a star player, man. I'm excited. I know defensive tackle was a question this season. It seems like we're fixing that problem moving forward and for the future as well. Man.
Yeah. Talk about the future. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I mean, you got Taylor and Hunt, and then if Nesta stays, you got those three right there, and then who knows what happens with Mason Smith. I mean, we can potentially build a powerhouse on the trenches, which would be nice.
Not to move away from the game, but have you heard anything on Mason Smith? I know he has Miami in his top 5. People say he seems really excited about Miami. Is Miami in the hunt for the best defensive tackle in this class?
I would say we're just in the conversation. I wouldn't say anything else more than that. Me personally, I don't think we land him. He's just too big, and I mean, he already looks like he should play on Sundays. I picture him in the SEC powerhouse.
He's a big guy, no doubt about it. Tremendous player as well. Brad, anything else you want to add regarding the half? I mean, Derek King, 6 out of 15, 79 passing yards. He's got to step up. He's got to step up, whether his legs take off and run or, make better decisions is what I want to see from King. I feel like guys are open. Yeah. We're just kind of resorting, to the long ball. And I don't know why we keep taking deep shots. That's not our game. I understand you cannot live and die off of quick short passes.
I got to say, man, I'm a little caught off guard because between Rhett Laxley's interview after the Clemson game and between comments saying that was probably the worst performance he's had, he's got to do better. Between those two guys, we praised and talked about those two guys in particular before the season started, that those were going to be the two guys that make or break our season. Like we're only going to go as far as Rhett Laxley and Derek King take us. And after the poor performance by both of them in the Clemson game, I was expecting a little bit more today. I know it's only week 4, week 5, but we gotta show more. We're playing Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
It's nowhere near our competition.
Absolutely. No, I completely agree. I think our offensive line as well, man, needs to give us more time in the pocket. At times, King really doesn't have a lot of time to throw, and they have a big defensive line. They have big bodies. That's probably their strength is as a whole position group is their defensive line.
Yeah, Weaver in particular, that's a big boy. Weaver's been some stops for them. But yeah, man, we got to pick it up, man.
Absolutely.
Derek King's getting hit too many times. I like it.
No, absolutely. And yes, Brad is out in Gainesville. Beautiful day out there in Gainesville as well, man. Clemson put up 45 points against Georgia Tech at the first half. Crazy. You can't make that up, man. That's why they're the number 1 team in the nation. One thing about Miami, Brad, we tend to, when we lose to any opponent, the next game is an ugly game. It's always an ugly game. We either lose or it's just ugly. We got to fix this. Is this on coaching, Brad? The undisciplined penalties, the just underperforming, playing down to people's level? Who is this on? I'm trying to figure it out. It's year 2 of Coach Manny Diaz. It's still early in the process. Butch did not have success early on in his career, but I'm just trying to pinpoint where are the flaws here.
100% coaching, man. I think the players are a little different. I think they're more bought in. You can tell that they're not giving up. They're kind of starting to build that culture, but still seeing the same boneheaded mistakes, undisciplined after the whistle. And I mean, you still got certain guys that aren't getting playing time like they should. And at the end of the day, man, I don't want to bring this up back in the past, but if we're playing a better offense, man, I think a lot of people are going to be tweeting about Blake Baker even more because Blake Baker's kind of flying under the radar this game just because Pittsburgh is that bad on offense. Where again, if we were playing against an offense or a quarterback that could make some plays, we would be in real big trouble today. And this is kind of giving me flashbacks of when Al Golden had Mark D'Onofrio and he didn't want to fire his guy. And unfortunately, It's starting to seem like if Manny Diaz wants to be that guy, I don't know. Baker's the guy.
Yeah, no, that is valid. I mean, there were a lot of wide open Pitt receivers. I can't remember the drive specifically. We rushed. I think it was either Yellen or the other guy. We actually got to him, but the guy on the right side of the sideline was wide open. I think it was the running back, Davis. He was wide open for a first down, but we just kind of got to him and he couldn't really throw a proper perfect pass. But there's been a lot of wide open receivers. You put in Kenny Pickett, guy who's an ACC veteran, he may have a lot of success against this Miami defense this game because we're playing against really bad quarterbacks, really bad.
And I'm still worried about the offense because we still have yet, like 4 or 5 games in, we have still yet to have that one guy who's like a go-to guy. You know what I mean? Like where it's like anytime we're in trouble, throw to him, he's good. Like, yeah, Brevin Jordan's probably that guy, but it's like he's not healthy half the time. And then you look at the defense. My thing with the defense is it's always the same guys making plays. It's always Bubba Bolden. Bubba Bolden is reliable. I mean, people compared him to Jaquan Johnson a few years ago, and that's the perfect comparison. He is the backbone to our defense. Without Bubba Bolden, there's plays that are going way further than where it should be. My thing is who's going to be the Gilbert Frierson of last game? You know what I mean? Who's going to be that next defensive player besides Bubba Bolden in the second half to step up and be that guy? Because I haven't seen anybody else besides Bubba Bolden kind of make some plays.
Al Blades made a couple plays as well, I would say.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to see more. You know, he's a junior. We want Al Blades to be like that cornerback one. You know, we compare him to Asante Samuel and the Kyler Elams of the state of Florida. So I need to make that next jump.
How do you think DJ Ivy has played to Corey Couch so far? The rest of the cornerback group. Isaiah Dunson made a nice stop on special teams. He held his ground. That was huge. That was a big key tackle in this game.
I think our cornerbacks have played average. You know, like they kind of just skated by. They haven't done nothing too much to be quite noticeable to like kind of ruin a whole drive or a play.
Right.
Down, but they haven't done enough to stand out. And I think we still have been missing that, man. And that, unfortunately, man, that it goes back to coaching again. We haven't had a corner stand out since like Michael Jackson, it seems like.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, it's coaching is very important. Development of players. I feel like we kind of repeat ourselves every year, but we'll see what happens this second half. Let's make the adjustments. And hey, remember, we were in a similar position with UAB the first game. Yeah. In a sense, you know, offense wasn't really clicking. It was just our run game. You know, we were making we didn't have any penalties against UAB, you know, but it was an ugly first half. So maybe we can finish out. Let's win by 17 points. Let's cover the spread and let's win games. I think that's the important part, is just finishing games and winning, and do not keep another team alive.
I need at least 35 plus at the end of the game. And if we could contain them to no touchdowns and just field goals, I'm happy with that. But I need to see a lot. I need to see the freshmen continuing to play. Seems like any time the freshmen in, they're doing their job, so keep them in the game.
There is no reason why Bradley Jennings should be back in that football game after that personal foul. No reason whatsoever. You put in the Sam Brooks, you put in the Corey Flaggs. Okay, it is time to rebuild at that position. Zach McLeod's been here for 6 years. I mean, it is what it is. You're going to get the same player you've seen the past 3 years. It's not going to be, you know, he's not going to turn into James Laurinaitis in college and AJ Hawk. I mean, he's just going to be the same.
At this point, I would probably take Ryan Rigoni over Zach McLeod.
Ryan, bring back Ryan Rigoni. I'm for it, man.
Yeah.
Brad, how many more minutes do we have till the second half begins? Do you know?
I don't. I'm sure it's probably kicking off here soon.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, it was a pleasure, everyone, for joining us. We had 78 people in 18 minutes. We did this on the fly. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We will be doing a post-game show, Brad. If you feel better tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right. If Brad feels better, if not, we'll hit it another day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And always, all about the youth.